Hello, and welcome to Meet the Masters. In this episode, we're highlighting Koom, a defensive juggernaut in MXM. Koom is a guardian from the planet Koom, in search of a precious resource on Earth to ensure the continued survival of his people, and he's willing to fight back the sin to obtain it. As a juggernaut, Koom focuses on protecting his allies while soaking and ignoring incoming damage. Koom's weapons are Akumite fragments that erupt from his massive stone fists as he swings at his enemies. This weapon does not overheat, so he can continually pester enemies with damage. This weapon can be augmented to increase his range, shrapnel spread angle, or attack speed. Koom utilizes a resource called Will to perform his skills, which he gains by dealing and receiving damage. Koom's Will depletes slowly when out of combat. Koom's survival skill, Granite Sheath, protects him in a shell of thin granite, absorbing a moderate amount of incoming damage and providing a brief movement speed boost. The movement speed boost will end if the shield is broken. The first of Koom's primary skills is Magnetic Barrier, which creates a charged field of stones in front of Koom to block incoming projectiles. This barrier does not protect against AoE damage or damage from the side and rear. Ranking up this skill will reduce the cooldown, reflect projectiles instead of blocking them, and increase the skill's duration. Next up is RUNESLAB Barricade, an ability that can redirect the flow of combat by blocking the attacks and movement of the enemy team, routing them away from fragile allies, funneling them into deadly oncoming attacks, or splitting the enemy team in two to turn the tide of a fight. Ranking up this skill will decrease the skill's cooldown and will usage, while increasing the wall length, durability, and duration. Koom's unstable shell, much like Granite Sheath, protects him from incoming damage, but will also explode at the end of the skill, or when it receives enough damage to break it. This explosion deals AoE damage around Koom, which increases as the shield receives damage. Ranking up this skill will decrease its cooldown and will usage, while increasing the durability and explosive damage of the shell. Last up is Koom's Crashing Defense, which sees him charge into battle, applying a moderate shield to all nearby allies for a short duration. Ranking up this skill will decrease its cooldown and will usage, while increasing the impact radius, shield strength, ally defense, and adding a slow effect to enemies in the impact zone. Koom's ultimate is Impervious Stone, and makes him unable to drop below 1 HP for a short duration. At the end of Impervious Stone, Koom regains a percentage of his max health, as well as bonus health based on the damage taken during the skill, up to a cap. Ranking up this skill will increase health gained by both the skill and damage taken, as well as increase the skill's duration. Koom is all tank, and excels at soaking damage as the team's front line. His best uses offensively will come from being in the thick of battle. Charge in using Crashing Defense to shield your advancing team from incoming fire, and then use Magnetic Barrier to nullify incoming panic fire at your stony body while you sling attacks into their lines from a short distance. Of course, his defensive uses are where he truly shines. Use his RUNESLAB Barricade to split up the enemy team, and activate Unstable Shell to soak any incoming damage as your enemies make a last stand. And throw some extra damage into the mix to layer pressure onto the enemy team. When facing Koom, you'll want to be aware of his Magnetic Barrier, and attack him from the sides or from behind to get around it. Avoid being in close with Unstable Shell, and be constantly wary of RUNESLAB Barricade's ability to block advances, or split up teams on a retreat. He can take a lot of damage, and sometimes the best way to defeat him is to focus on his supporting teammates first, especially anyone with a strong healing ability. Keep in mind that Koom has several shields at his disposal, as well as a limited ability to ignore death. Don't get baited into attacking a low-health Koom just to have him shield and heal himself to turn the tide. Koom is a diamond in the rough when it comes to his defensive abilities, but don't let his allies' offenses erode, or he could be reduced to near rubble. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to give us a like. You can learn more about other masters at playmxm.com, and be sure to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube for more info.